You shouldn't be able to do that to your face.
Because I have a double chin that just, it's like a baby double chin. It wants to come out.
It just won't quit.
And I keep running, so it's like, God damn it. How it's been lately is interesting. You know, I'm really like, I'm out and proud now. I have my own place, so I can like really express myself. There's a gigantic pride flag in my room, like, and not in my room, in my main room, like in the middle of my windows. It's over my blinds. You'll have to see it. It's so funny. It's funny. I had mom and dad over for my birthday, and like I forgot that he like hadn't, like dad hadn't seen the way the apartment looks, and I was like, oh, well, this is probably why he's uncomfortable when he's here.
Right.
Yeah, so that was really funny. And I've got pride flags all over the place. I've got hats and stuff. Like, I don't know. It's something I really want to express, because for so long I didn't have any words for it. It was like this quirky thing or whatever. And like, I was just this thing that I always kind of pushed aside. And then finally when I named it, it was like waking up, you know, and really like feeling like me, and like all of these dots like starting to connect and make sense and light up, and I was like, oh my god. So it's definitely like more ingrained in my personality now. You know, we've had discussions about how it, you know, for some people it might seem like it's like a personality, and I used to be like that too. I used to be like, well, I like, you know, like when I was quote unquote straight, I'd be like, well, it's like I'm cool with it, but like it doesn't have to be your whole personality. But like I don't know.
I felt, honestly, that was like the one thing I like didn't quite get.
Yeah, and it's just something that like, because I had to keep it inside for so long. It's just like I literally bursting out rainbows, quite literally.
Well, you like had to kind of like all those years like kids are going through like this like self-discovery, like things they like, and then like you like buy all that stuff. You know what I mean? Like to show the world like this is part of who you are. This is something you really are into, like whatever. And it's like you're almost like robbed of that, it seems like, when you are gay, and you like I guess however long like it takes for you to come out, and then also like depending on like the environment you have around you or support systems that are also around you. Like I just feel like you're playing catch up like at that point where you're like you're like 23, and I got it right this time, by the way. I got her age wrong the other day. I felt like she was very hurt, even though I've been doing this for literally 10 years. But anyway. Yeah, but yeah, like you're just playing like catch up, where like you feel like proud and you want to like show the world. And yeah, I think that is like a huge difference, though. I don't know if you agree with me about like the difference between like heterosexual.
Yeah, like, well, because it's ingrained in you from even when you're little. Like you're like, you know, kindergartners go to school and be like, I have a girlfriend, I have a boyfriend, but like, you know, and then like parents will play it up and be like, oh, like to their little son, they'll be like, that's his little girlfriend, and like, you know, and I had a kindergarten boyfriend too. Yeah. You know who you are if you're watching this.
I did not. I thought I was a dog. I was on a completely different.
Julianne identifies as a dog, and
completely different level at that point.
Yeah. Sorry.
Mia, what's up?
Yeah, no, it was I was watching a video. I was watching Dating Straight. It's Amy Ordman and that other gay guy who I don't know the name of. I'm sorry, other gay guy. I forgot your name. I really only watch the lesbian YouTubers. So I know Amy Ordman. But they had guest star Jade on it, and they were talking about how like gays basically experience their teens in their 20s, like, so they're always like out and being like super gay about it, like, you know, like, because we had this like repression. Most gays are pretty repressed in high school, even if you're out, like, because it's a heteronormative world, like you don't get to express,
trying to blend in still.
And your 20s are that age where you're all over the place. You're either in college or maybe you moved out or whatever, so you can choose who you're around, you can choose your environment, you can find places that accept you, and you could be like, like I would kill for a gay bar around here. And yeah, she shook. She's like, oh my god, gay. But yeah, it's just so it's like interesting. I would kill for a gay bar around here. Apparently there is one, and it might be closing down because of the virus.
You'd have to go to the city, and I'll go with you.
Yeah, it's just expensive, but yeah, I know. But yeah, I would love to go to like gay bars and stuff like that. And it, it's still hard, like on a day-to-day basis. Like I was talking to my therapist about like, I mean, we won't get into it like intensely, but like, I was talking about like sexual experiences and stuff like that. And I was like, I don't have anybody to go to about this. I was like, I have questions and I have no idea how to get the answers. Here am I, like, I'm pilfering through Google to try to help me. Like, and I was like, I have no one to, help me in this way. I was like, everybody in my life who has experience is straight. And, it's so different in certain ways, like with a girl, like emotionally and physically and whatnot. And, so I was trying to explain to my therapist, I was like, I don't know, like, it's really hard for me to try to figure out a lot of these things because I just don't have access to these people and these communities and whatnot. I mean, we've trashed the sex education and health and whatnot before. It's terrible.
Don't even think I took it.
Even for straight people, it's terrible. But there's just no mention of gay people having sex at all. Like I had to Google, like when I knew I was had my first girlfriend, I literally like baby gay Googled how to have gay sex. Literally. I did that. Like it's embarrassing, but it's true because how do you know if you don't?
I don't even know what, like, I only know like for men because, but like for women, I don't. Because, like the not natural, sorry, terrible word, but just like what people perceive as like intercourse is so like biological, where it's like penis and vagina.
Yeah.
So it's like, how is it defined then for those who like are not in hetero like relationships?
Yeah, I know. And especially like because with guys, like if there's two gay guys, it's easier to understand, I feel like, too, because they're similar concepts, just not parts.
Right. Right.
Girls, I feel like a lot of people illegitimize sexual experiences girls have with each other because there is no like penis. I mean, and we could like go into it more and
right.
Couples use like strap-ons and whatever, but
right, true.
That's not the only way. And yeah, so it's crazy. And so, it's still like, even though I feel like much more confident about it as like emotionally, there's still a lot of things I still have to figure out on a day-to-day basis that I'm Googling and like, scouring the internet for. And then I was like, can I ask my gynecologist certain questions? And I was like, is that weird? And
who do I ask?
I know, like, yeah, I was like, who do I turn to? And I was
like a sex therapist or something.
I know. I actually considered it for a hot minute, maybe like a session or so.
An educational one like wouldn't be the worst thing, but that should be like readily available.
I know, and you have to seek it out. And then there's like, yeah, if you find a therapist, like all therapists, you have to see if it's covered under insurance, or else you're paying $120 for it, or like
right,
whatever. So it's insane that it's not readily available. And yeah, so we turned to Google, and that's why I love the YouTubers so much, because they're so honest.
Yeah.
Like there was a girl who literally posted a video, like not like porn, but like she had like props or whatever, and she was like, this is how you have sex or whatever. But it's hard when you just have props, like obviously, like whatever. I mean, not that I need like an actual demonstration either, but it's just like hard to. It's hard.
I need a live demonstration.
Yeah, and it's hard to conceptualize, and it's hard when you can't talk back to somebody. If it's a video, you can't ask questions. And that's the same thing going on the internet. You can't. I mean, you could Google a question, but if you're reading something and it sparks something else, I then have to pull up another Google tab and ask the question and see my results are okay. And it's definitely a lot. Like, it definitely can be a lot. And, I struggle with my identity too sometimes. Like, I'm like, am I just like, do I dress like girls? Like, I'm comfortable with the term gay for myself. I mean, I'm technically bisexual, but I like using the word gay because it's more of an umbrella term. And I'm still going back and forth. I'm like, do I dress like girls, or is there a percent? And I think there's a very small percent that would, is attracted to guys, but also like it's a spectrum. Bisexuality is a spectrum, and also it could be impacted like at the time in your life. Like right now, I'm like I don't have patience for men. Like I don't. Like like I need like a seasoned man. Like he's got to be mature. Like let him go through his stupid shit, and like maybe we could like whatever. But like where I am in my life right now, I was like I need somebody who's ready to be mature and be stable and whatever. Like I don't feel like going through that and building it again. Like I want somebody who's like prepackaged good. He's good.
Ready to go.
Because
I
that's
mean, that's fair, regardless of gender.
yeah. So I mean, but I find personally that a lot more girls are there emotionally,
Right.
than men are.
Yeah. I feel like men are always kind of like on the fence. I guess if you're using like a dating app or something, like they're not always necessarily using that to actually like date someone. So I feel like it's a little bit more definitive, like with a woman maybe.
Yeah.
But that's also generalizing. There are like many men out who
exactly.
are ready to date.
I find them difficult to find, and I personally don't. It's like the Google thing. I don't feel like going through, and finding,
Yeah.
So I don't know. So I definitely still go back and forth. It's funny on one of my dating app profiles, put like 95% girls, 5% guys, because you could like for some of them you can put like bisexual, straight, gay, lesbian, whatever. And then for one of them, you can like put like your own custom thing. So I put 95% girls, 5% guys.
Oh my God.
Just so they know, because like I don't know, there's a lot of biphobia out there as well. I mean, we can go into the complexities of homophobia, but there's even biphobia where people think like it's not real, or they cheat a lot, or they can't make up their minds, and blah 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 blah. And it's like for some,
and then it's choice.
Yeah. So like I don't know, for some people it's like, oh, it's like it's 50-50 for them, and for me I'm like, no, that's not what it is. At least right now it's not. But like some people really strongly identify with that, and then like like if a bisexual person gets married, they're like, oh, so you finally chose a team, like or whatever. Like Rose and Rosie, Rosie is bisexual, and I mean, Rose, it's always a joke, but she's like, how do you feel to be a lesbian now, or whatever, because that's what people, and she's like, oh, like she's so annoyed because she still has attraction to men even though she's married to a woman. It's
right.
something that goes away, so it's really interesting. There's a lot of like complex layers of
absolutely, which like you don't quite get like from the outside looking in. Like it's definitely like you have to like go through that and like be in it to like truly understand like how complex it is. Like I just don't think it can be just like boiled down to like terms and definitions. I think it's just like feelings as well. And I mean, it's definitely more accepted now than it ever has been. And that'll continue. I hope for forever until it's like just a totally normal thing. But it's definitely like different. Like we've like talked about this before. Like I felt like there are things that like I was ignorant to like about it, like not purposely, just like things that like I just simply didn't get because like I was not going through it.
And I didn't get it before I went through it either, like fully. You can always like have sympathy. Now I have empathy towards it because I've like really gone through it, and like and like there are still different layers of like feeling hurt about it. Like we talked about my parents' reaction. It could be like some people go through like the worst of the worst, right? But like you're also still allowed, like, and that's something I've been dealing with too, like being allowed to let myself like feel upset about certain things sometimes, because like because you want to be like, well, it could be so much worse, and it could, and that's true, and that's fair, and it gives you perspective, but also like that doesn't invalidate the fact that like a lot of times I still feel like I can't be myself at home.
Right. Yeah, of course.
And, that I don't know, there's just like a lot that goes into play, and like when I was dating my ex-boyfriend, I never had to worry about holding his hand in public, asking for somebody to take our picture. But when I was with my ex-girlfriend at like a tulip festival, I captioned the picture on Instagram, something like, it was like, today's the day of who doesn't look too homophobic enough to take our picture or whatever. Cause like, you never know. Like, you know, I mean, maybe if I was like in a place that I was really familiar with, like if I was in my college town, like Ithaca or whatever, I wouldn't feel, and I never felt, because Ithaca was a really safe space, especially the college itself. You know, everybody was chill. Like it was so gay.
Yeah.
So like I never felt like uncomfortable about those types of things. But, or, you know, or being out or holding hands on campus. But, you know, anytime we left campus, you know, even a couple towns over, like once we were walking and holding hands, and like this woman, like she was like sitting on a bench and she just said something so random, and she was just like, "Hello, ladies," or something, and like we like didn't know how to take it, and like it was really random, and we weren't sure if it was like she was just like a weird lady like saying hi, or if it was like, or if it was like something weird, but like we immediately like stopped holding hands across the street, because like I don't know, you just don't know where you are, you don't know what people think, you don't know what, you know, what's gonna be. And I never realized that, and like I was, you know, it's frustrating because you want to just quote unquote be normal in terms of like, you know, I want to post pictures and I want to hold hands in public and whatever, like I, you know, you just want to do those things, and you have to think about it now. Like it is better, like you said, it's better now than it's ever been, but still there are certain places and there are still like lunatics in disguise everywhere who have hate and bigotry that, you know, things have, like those two women that got her, like it was last year, they got harassed on the bus. Yeah, and it was during Pride. Like, you know, like it was just like crazy, you know, like that happened, but also not crazy at all, you know, and those things are things that I think about, you know, I want to be in a relationship again, and I'm like, you know, it's things that I have to start thinking about all over again, which aren't necessarily bad. Like I said, I want to be in a relationship, but it's like, you know, you just have to be safe and be smart. And it's like, you know, it's unfortunate that you have to like think about a relationship like that. Like, how can I be safe? Like being in a couple. Like I never thought about that with my ex-boyfriend, you know, I was like, because it was so accepted, you know?
If anything, that relationship was like overly accepted.
Yeah.
You know? Like I feel like you guys were almost like a novelty or something, like in your school. Like I just
celebrity couple. We got like paparazzi'd.
like so weird. Like that's weird.
It was odd. It was
like, you know what I mean? Like in comparison to just like, you know.
It added another layer of like pressure for the relationship as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I was actually talking to somebody about the different types of love I received in my relationship with a guy and a girl, and I thought that was really interesting because like with my ex-boyfriend, I felt like home within a person for me. Like I miss him a lot still, my version of him. I miss the comfort that he brought me, but he felt like home within a person, somebody I could always go to, rely on, even though he was unreliable in certain instances. You know, there is just a lot like of comfort that I attached with him, and you know, I felt safe when I was with him, and not in like a protected, like safe from, but just like safe from my emotional demons, and safe, you know, just from anything bad. Like he made me feel like that. So there was like that type of love I had with him. But then with my ex-girlfriend, it was like the passionate, like fiery, happy to be alive, like type of love. And you know, and I was talking to somebody, and I was like, I'm looking for both of those combined in a person now, you know, like I don't want one or the other, like I need both of that, you know.
So I strive for just stability as well. Like I feel like that necessarily hasn't been something that was like front and center for you, but you've also been like discovering a lot of things about like yourself. So I do hope like the next relationship you're in like checks all those boxes that like you want and need.
Yeah.
That's what I would like to see. You just like in like a very mature, like stable, like awesome, supportive relationship. Like that's all I want. Man or woman. Doesn't matter to me, but all I want for you, really.
Yeah. I mean, same here.
I'm looking, by the way.
Should I put up my number? Like, like I don't know if that's not safe, but you know, we could just like
flash it on the bottom.
She's available. She's available. Like, comments,
inflatable arms.
Short but handsome, slightly hairy, newly single salesman. Short but handsome, slightly hairy, newly single salesman. Short but handsome, slightly hairy, newly single salesman. Hi, I'm Al Harrington of Al Harrington's wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man warehouse and emporium. Due to a gut-busting divorce, limited people skills, and significant prodding from my therapist, I am currently seeking online companionship as a short but handsome, slightly hairy, newly single salesman. And I would love to attempt to convert my heavily embellished internet profile and carefully airbrushed out-of-date photo into a night of physical intimacy with you!
Single.
Yes, get a billboard. Great.
So
No, yeah, it'll happen when it happens. But I think like personally, I think like this time of like just like self-reflection, self-discovery, like I think like that's honestly huge. Like as someone who has jumped from relationship to relationship to relationship, I feel like I learned a lot during those relationships, but I never had that like alone time, you know? So
Yes.
I think like that's a really valuable thing that not everyone does, honestly.
Yeah, I think this is one of the longest times I've been single. Well, I don't know, because
Well, you were single.
this is it's coming up on one of the longest times I've been single. From my ex-boyfriend to my ex-girlfriend, it was the longest.
Like I think it's cool. Like I'm like very happily in a relationship now, and I'm like fortunate that like this person who I'm with now is like so great. You know what I mean? But like I think being single is like a really good opportunity to like learn about yourself. And I feel like, yeah, I don't know, just necessary.
Yeah. So I don't know. Hopefully, I think
I'm just like happy that like you're happy and we're at a place where like you can like openly talk about these things. Not that you never like could with me, but like I don't know. I just feel like you're more secure in like who you are. And I feel like it's funny because I did always think like when you were younger, like you knew who you were, and it's just like totally like different now. I mean, you obviously are the same person at the end of the day, right? But like just like same but different, you know?
yeah, no, I mean really, and that's something I, through my mental health and through my sexuality, I've been like coming back to falling in love with who I am. I really liked who I was like in high school, and
Yeah.
in terms of like my sense of self,
Right. Yeah. You
you
had a
know,
strong sense of self, I thought.
yeah, and like I don't know, somewhere along the way, it really I just learned a lot more about everything. So I feel like taking on all of that, it got like muddled within the way. So that's something I'd been learning through mental health and all of my experiences, which we'll make a video about eventually too, is falling in love with myself again. And being gay is like a really big part of it. Like it's one of my actually, it's like probably my favorite thing about myself right now. I don't know. I just think it's unique. it's quirky. Yeah, right. I don't know. It's just it's something that really sums me up really well. I feel like, and it's something I like to express and makes me feel good and alive. And I never realized that people like, because I feel like sometimes straight people take it for granted. Like of just like how easy it is to be straight, like just like immediately accepted and whatever, and like I don't know, and so there's something special about being gay sometimes because of the adversity of just like going through it and being proud of yourself despite of all of like the negativity that can be out there, and then finding those people who are extremely supportive of you is like wonderful. And it's a great way to judge character. If somebody doesn't accept you, they're probably trash. So I mean, really though, like what kind of nice person is like, oh, we would be friends except for the fact that you like girls. Jesus Christ, these birds. I have the cover over them, but
they just want to get involved.
Arnold.
Oh, they're too much. Yeah, it's crazy. It's honestly crazy like how unaccepted it still is. I mean, I just feel like at the end of the day, like we should just want happiness for everybody.
Yeah.
And I don't see why like someone else's sexuality should like bother you. Like like I just don't get it.
And there's those stupid people who are like, I just don't want it in my face. And I'm like, but think about if the roles were reversed, like if it like think of how many times straight people have like been in your face. You know what I mean? And like gay people don't really have an issue with that except for the fact that we're not allowed to do the same. Like
right.
So, you don't think about it like, oh, it's in my face. It's like, you know, like straight people are in your face all the time too, but because it's normalized, like you don't see it, you know,
Right.
like, you know, because it's just you're programmed to accept it. And I wish we were just programmed to accept any other type of person and any other type of relationship too, because in the end, like you just like love is love. Like that's why that phrase is a thing. It's just love is love, because we all experience it. It's something that universally connects people, like whether it's romantic love or familial love or whatever, like we all have that. So like just like be happy that somebody gets to experience that, you know, like
Yeah.
and that's always how I felt as an ally too. And then, you know, being in it as you know, a member of the community, a very strong community that I'm very proud of as well.
Yes.
You know, that's something I'm just like, why don't you get it, you know, like it's just, or like not even get it, like it's so silly that we have to like break down and explain it when it really is so simple, you know. It's just like, I just want to be with this person. You don't have to think about what we do, you don't have to think about how we act. Like I don't want to think about straight people having sex either, like, you know what I mean?
No,
like,
it's totally true. Yeah.
you know, like
Absolutely.
I mean, straight people I know, I guess, but I don't want to think about having sex. But you know, it's just like, it's so what's in your face if somebody holds a hand, if somebody leans on somebody else, if somebody says you to somebody else in public, like what's in your face? Oh, God forbid somebody wears a fucking rainbow, like
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Crazy. I know. Yeah, but overall, I mean, I will speak for myself. I'm like very proud of like the person who you are and who you've become, and just that you're like relentless. Like you don't give up. Like you'll you'll bend, but you don't break. And I think it's only like made you stronger as a person. And like, yeah, I definitely like look up to you, even though you're my little sister. But yeah, very proud of you, I will say.
So yeah, I don't know. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's still a journey. It will always be a journey. Waiting for the day where I feel more accepted, less tolerated. You know, but right now we're probably more tolerated than accepted. But you know, every day is different, and
I'm fighting the good fight, you big gay.
the big gay agenda.
Gay agenda.
I'm here for it.
Fight that fight.
Yeah, so that's probably it from us right now.
We're
you
good.
know, that's my big gay agenda. Next time we come at you, it'll be a little more lighthearted, and we'll be able to do some funny stuff. I'm looking forward to that as well. But I love talking about stuff like this because it's super important. And hopefully, like maybe this could help somebody. I don't know. I'm always available if there are actual people like who we know who are watching this. Like if you want to hit me up on social media or whatever, like I'm always able to talk. And I would also like a disclaimer that these experiences are all my own. Like everyone's experiences.
Right. These are our personal experiences and opinions. So
yeah. And so, you know, it's not the same for everybody. And, you know, when I've said like gay people, you know, I mean, there are some like generalizations when I've been like, oh, gay people, blah, blah, blah. But this is coming from my own experience with my own friends and on people I've interacted with and whatnot. So I'm by no means the expert on gay. Like I said, I still have to figure stuff out like all the time. Google.
Still novice level.
Yes. There's a name for that. It's baby gay, but I'm past baby gay because I've had a relationship and I've, you know, whatever. But, yeah, so I'm still getting there, but I'm no longer baby gay.
What is the next level up?
I guess like
Gay?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess there's no name for it. It's just like when you first come out, it's like you're baby gay because like you know it and you're excited about it. It's fresh and new and you want to explore and you're like, oh, look at them going through it. Like I remember when I was a baby gay.
Yes. That is so funny. You're just like floating in the gray area till you get to like expert level.
I would like to be an expert, but you know, we'll see.
Sure.
Yeah. So that's all from Alice and Jules for today.